Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and the project that I'm working on now is making the wood underliner that you're gonna see when you go to the Mexican restaurant and you order fajitas, and that cast iron griddle comes out so hot that it's impossible to touch that. But there's always a piece of wood the griddle sits on. So what we're making actually is 50 of those underliners. Okay, I've done only a small amount of double-sided tool pathing, a very small amount. So this will probably be clunkier than typical, and I apologize in advance. So we are going to create a new file, and it's going to be double-sided. And I measured the sheets, and actually what I want to do is screw them off to a consistent size, and I've measured the actual underliner. The width is 9 7/16. Let's just call it 9.5 plus 3/4 inch. That's the 3/8 bit times 2. So let's just say that we're going to be 10 1/4. 10 1/4 divided by 48. Okay, we're going to get either 4 this way, if we do it that way, and the overall length is 20 3/8 plus 3/4. Let's just say 21 1/4. 21 1/4 times 4 is 85. 21 1/4 times 2 is 42. If I did them this way in the sheet, let's go 96 divided by 10 1/4. I'm trying to figure out the best yield. Better and yes, VCarve can give you guidance on this, but if I draw them this way, I'm going to get more yield. I'll get 2 more out of the sheet. So that's how we'll draw them. So the bottom line is I'm going to square the workpiece off because I need to flip it. And I'm going to want a true edge when I square it off to the edge of the table. Now, I've watched videos on two-sided machining where they're creating guide holes or reference holes. I'm expecting that squaring it is going to serve appropriately for having a good reference point when we are flipping the sheet over. So these videos I've watched will say you're going to drill a hole through your workpiece and then partially into your spoil board. Let's say here and here and here, so that when you flip the piece over to cut the other side, everything is adjusted correctly. My current logic, that is, if I square the piece here and down here and clamp it, and then flip it over and do the same, and I've got a known true piece of material, I'm good. So the first tool path I'm going to run is a profile cut, taking this piece of plywood that's 48 and 48.16542 by 96.0924 and making it 47.5, let's say, by 95, let's say, or trimming it to whatever is a cleaner size so that we're true when we flip it. That's what my goal is. So I'm going to say that my X axis, I'm going to make it 97.7625, 97 5/8. That should allow me a 1/4 inch trim all the way around. Then my height, I'm going to make it 47 5/8, 625. My thickness, 0.727. I measured that in inches. Z0 position, I'm going to zero off the material surface on both sides so that when I cut the work, I'm just going to zero to the top of the material. That's what I'm going to do. My datum can be in the lower left-hand corner. I'm okay with this. And I'm going to flip in this sort of orientation. I'm going to flip it this way. Hopefully. Model resolution, very high. Material settings, I really never bother with this, but we'll leave it at oak medium. Okay, so we're creating this. The first thing I'm going to do now is File, Save As, and this is going to be called Underliner V1. To me, that means version 1, because for sure, if I make more of these, I'm going to optimize. I did whatever project and I got into, oh, I was making custom ceiling tiles. I think I'm in version 8 because I continued to optimize. Okie doke. Now, let's put in some guidelines. Let's do that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, there's going to be 5 tool paths. The perimeter cut, and then the 4 that we mentioned, the pocket, the ball end, the V-bit, and then the profile cut at the very end. So let's add a guideline. Put a guideline here. We're going to create a rectangle. We're going to create a vector for our screwing cut is what we're talking about. Let's go 0.1875. We've moved that in. Now let's create a new guide relative. Let's just put absolute position at 95 and 13/16. That's going to be something new here. And I made my sheet too long. So let's go back to our set job dimensions. Yeah, I made it at 97. That was an error. Those sheets are about 96. So I'm actually going to change my job setup to a 1/4 inch less, 0.75. Okay. So 47 and a quarter, 95 and a quarter. Okay. So I'm going to set my guide at an 1/8 inch off, apply. I'm now going to take this guide, I'm going to move it to its new position to 95 and 5/8. That should allow me 1/8 of an inch, apply, close. And, I'm really not concerned because we're going to have area here that's just not going to, it's not going to get us what we need. What I mean is when I lay these pieces out, I have to have tabs, which means I have to have a border between these. So we're going to have to understand how far we're going to space them out. So I'm going to bring a guide down to the bottom. I'm going to scooch it up to 1/8 above. And then I'm going to create a new guide, just an absolute, at 47 and 5/8. Create new guide. Okay, good. So now we should be 1/8 of an inch, pretty much 1/8 of an inch in all the way around. Okay, awesome. Let's create a vector for this. It's just going to be a rectangle. That corner is in a good position, and then our start point is in a good position. So I'll either have to screw this down or use the vacuum. We're just going to use the vacuum to hold this sheet down because there's nowhere for me to clamp this unless I'm doing the dance of running around the workpiece with spring clamps. There's no need to do that. Okay, so that is a vector. I've got that vector selected. Right mouse button, move to new layer, and I'm going to call this trimming perimeter cut. It's just what I think I'm going to remember it as. Got it. So now guidelines are gone. I clearly moved it. What I wanted to do was copy it. Truing is on. Let's take that. Right mouse button. Let's copy to layer 1. Great. Let's rename layer 1 master layout. Turn off truing, turn on master. It's there. Okay, we're in good shape. So now we're on our master layout. So I think what we'll do at this point is let's create the tool paths as we go, because for me, I think that'll work better for me thinking about it. So tool paths, let's pin that. We've got our vector selected, and we're simply going to do a profile. Start depth is 0, cut depth. We're going all the way through the material, and we know that our piece is 0.727. So I'm going to make this 0.727 plus 0.05 equal. Okay. Yeah. So equal at the end. So I'm going to go through I'm going to go through 50 thousandths. Is that going to work? I don't know. It might not be enough. We'll find out. We're going through 50 thousandths. So it's basically 80% of 1/16 of an inch. So it will tell us we're going to cut through. We know that. Now, what bit am I going to use? I'm not going to use a 1/4 inch end mill. I'm going to use my 6173. And at this point, I've got to look and see where it is in the tool changer, what position it's in, and that will help me find it. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. It is in position 5. That's where it is. Now, the feeds and speeds have definitely been based on cutting material with this bit lots and lots. So this is just what I'm going to use. And then should we need to make more of these or we find something's not working, we're going to optimize. But wow, 7 inches per second? No, 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 no. Let's pull up the Onsrud catalog. No reason to get cavalier about this. Let's look at what we pulled up for hard plywood. Here we go. 6100 MC single pass. So yeah, we're here. Our bit is 1/2 inch. Our series is a 6100 MC. So it's here. So our chip load is definitely 021 to 023, and I believe that's what we had. 023, I like it. Our RPM though, let's move that down. Okay. We're going to test this. We're going to see what this looks like. I don't want to move it 7 inches a second. 2 flute, yes. Inches, 1/2 inch diameter. Plunge rate, fine. Tool 5. Chip load is within range. Apply. Select. Okay. We'll leave it at 4 passes. Let's change it to 3. We're going to do it. Set passes at 3. We're good. We want to be on the outside of the line. Really important. We're going to climb cut this. Add ramps. Yeah, we want to ramp into our workpiece. 4 inch, fine. Smooth, fine. We'll see what that turns into. We're going to be down here, so that's where we're going to start. This is where our gantry will be. This is being called truing perimeter cut. Yeah, we're going to cut through. No big deal. Okay. Now we should have a piece that's consistent. Okay. We're going to unselect our tool path. This is on the top of the sheet. We've not flipped it over yet because you do that here. So the next thing to do is to create guidelines for a perimeter. We've got a true cut here. I'm going to come over, let's say 1 inch, relative to guide 1 inch, create new guide. That's because I got to add tabs and I want some wood left over here. Now what we need to do is let's create another guideline that's going to be at 9 7/16 from this one because that's the size of this. 9.4375. Create new guide. Great. Close. Awesome. Now let's go 1 inch up, create new guide. Now let's create another guide, the height of this, which is, we'll go with 20 3/8. Yep. 20 3/8. 20.375. Create new guide. There it is. Let's create another one, 1 inch up. So we're going to have a lot of room left over here. So what I could easily do is measure what this is and just balance it out. So we've got roughly 6 inch. Let's go with 3, 3, and 3. This is good. Now it's balanced on the sheet. So this is what we're dealing with right here. That's the outside of what we're dealing with. Okay. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So I've created the guideline for here, 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 and here. So let's create the guidelines for here, for here, for here, for here, for here, and then for here. So let's do that. I think what I'll do now is I'm going to actually just give me a vector that's going to allow me to understand what this bad boy looks like. We're good. 8 1/16. That would be 4 1/32 radius. And this guideline is 1 9. Is that the distance here? 1 9/16? Yes, we're good. What this is, let me show you. It's this. And the upper one is this. Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of the guidelines. Let's trim, see what happens. Try, but let's start by getting rid of what we know we can get rid of without fighting. Nope. There's a problem somewhere. Sure looks like what we're doing. Let's shift select all of that. That's joined. Select and then hold the shift key down, select the rest of these. Join. All right, now we got a couple of vectors. It's taken a minute to get this done. I like it. Close. Let's measure some stuff. 9 and 7, I like that. Yeah, I like that. What's our inside? 8 1/16. Yeah, I like that. And then 17 1/4. Think so. Yeah, I like that. This is good. All right, let's file, save. Okay, let's take a break. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.